It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
Hi, we're here, and we're everywhere. Across the USA, around the world. I'm Gary McNamara. He's Eric Harley.
Hi.
Well, things got exciting in the House last night.
By its adoption of House Resolution 521, the House has resolved that the House of Representatives censures Adam Schiff, representative of the 30th Congressional District of California, for misleading the American public and for conduct unbecoming of an elected member of the House of Representatives. That Representative Adam Schiff will be forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure. That Representative Adam Schiff will be censured with the public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. And that the Committee on Ethics shall conduct an investigation into Representative Adam Schiff's falsehoods, misrepresentations, and abuse of sensitive information.
There you go. And we sounded a little bit like Parliament there, didn't we?
Oh,
Those were all the Democrats earlier.
Fish and chips.
Earlier they were screaming shame, 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 shame.
Mm-hmm.
And I said it just before the top of the hour. You and I talked about this a long time ago, and we're talking how many. I can't remember when they put out their memos. When both remember when the whole thing was, did Trump do anything wrong? Does the intelligence show it? And then Devin Nunes came out and said, no, the intelligence doesn't show it.
Was that 2018?
Might have been 2018, yeah. Yeah, I just can't remember. I can't remember when it was, but I remember sitting here and then, Adam, and it's like, Nunes came out with his, and then you had Adam Schiff come out with his memo. And stating that, and I forgot, maybe did Schiff come out with his first? I can't remember what the order was. But the Nunes said no. Our intelligence shows no. Our intelligence agencies and everything that we see, there is no evidence that Trump colluded with the Russians. No intelligence at all. None. Right. We now know that's true.
Right.
At the time. And Schiff came out and said, no, the intelligence clearly shows that there was collusion. And the difference is, and we said it at the time, we said someone's lying here. We didn't know who, right, at that time.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We said someone's lying. And we then figured out, I can't remember what the exact timeline was, that Adam Schiff was lying. And we knew Adam Schiff was lying when that incredible news organization, The View, and as Eric stated earlier, the only tough journalist, it seems to be lately, are the Easter Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
Al Roker.
Al Roker. Yeah, forgot about Al.
Mm-hmm.
Al Roker and The View.
Because they were the ones that actually asked the question.
Yeah. You go, what's the evidence that Trump, colluded with the Russians? You've stated for the longest time. And at that time, he stated what everybody already knew. This was not top secret intelligence.
Right.
What he said was the Trump Tower meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that wasn't collusion.
Yeah.
Well, it was attempted collusion. That's not what you said. You said collusion. And the fact is, on the day that he is censured, he used the same argument, the same scenario to John Durham.
Yeah.
That was the evidence of collusion. Well, to have collusion, you have to complete a circle, right? You've got to connect the dots.
Right.
You have to collude. Here's what I want you to do. Okay, I'm talking to you, and then you go and do it.
Right.
Well, as we know, the Trump Tower meeting, Trump Jr. was told, you can get some information here, but it was you can get some information, some dirt on Biden, but he went there, and it was the lawyer from Russia who wanted to talk about adoptions.
Yeah.
And so he said, I'm out of here. And then when it became, okay, we need to know what happened in the Trump Tower, Trump said, well, there's no problem. Here's all my emails. I'll make them public before you even subpoena them.
Right.
Here's everything I've got. There was nothing there, and he was still using it. But we had said at the time when we knew it was a lie that somehow, that eventually there has to be some recognition of the lies that he continually told, because every time he said, the intelligence that I have stated, that the intelligence I have seen shows that Trump colluded with the Russians, and he was never provided it. Now we know that's completely false. No intelligence showed that. We know that in his high position of both the ranking member and then the head of the Intelligence Committee to promote to the American people over and over again as a leader in this country of overseeing the intelligence agencies and the highest intelligence, the highest top secrets we have, that you are held to a higher standard than a normal congressperson. This isn't just normal political lying.
Right.
And that has to be recognized in some way. Adam Schiff lied to the American people about what the intelligence told him. You can't do that at that level. And so for him being censured, I think was the absolute right move. And if you're somebody, look, if you're a Democrat, like the Democrats sitting on the floor, they don't care about any of this.
Never have.
They don't care if the FBI is crooked. They don't care. They only care if it doesn't go their way.
No, they need the FBI to be crooked.
Right.
They need the enforcement.
And so they have no problem that Adam Schiff did this. In fact, they view that, the left view this as an honor, and he said that yesterday. This is basically an honor to him to be censured for lying, and we all know he lied.
Right.
Everyone knows he lied. They're okay. Democrats, the only difference is they're okay with the lie because it was a lie about Trump.
Right.
They don't believe that you should be held to a higher standard when you look and get to look and decipher, the top secrets of this nation. They view you should be able to lie like anybody else for political purposes about even what the intelligence tells you. We disagree with that, and it looks like the Republicans do, and I believe that this was a proper censure, only the 8th time it's happened in House history.
Yeah.
And I think this is proper. I think it's reprehensible what he did. If you want to throw out, if he just wanted to say, I believe that Trump is crooked, that's fine. But when you give general specifics about this is what the top secret intelligence tells us, and that the Republicans who put out their memo are completely wrong, that the intelligence clearly shows that there was more, that there was more than just, that there was direct evidence, not just circumstantial, but there was direct. There wasn't even circumstantial.
No.
There was nothing.
No.
And when you accuse the opposition, the opposition leader of the Intelligence Committee of lying, and you're lying about the intelligence, that needs to be recognized and represented in a way that, the punishment is being censured, but it gives some in the media who wish to be intellectually honest, and it gives the American people the chance to listen and go, okay, what did he say? And now the Ethics Committee will be looking at it. We'll see what they come out with out of it. But again, what I hope to get out of it is the specific lies that he told, especially the lies about American intelligence, deciphering that to the American people, which I believe never should be done. Either you don't say it or you tell the American public the truth. But you do not lie in that position to the American people if you're going to say what the intelligence, if it's cleared for you to say that, and we still can't see it ourselves, and you decipher it and you lie to the American public, you need to be called on it. And
that's the whole point of oversight.
Yes.
Is to be our eyes.
Yep.
We don't get to know everything, but you don't get to lie and tell people that there is something that there is not.
And as it says here, Democratic Adam Schiff has been officially censured by the House of Representatives for abusing his position on the Intelligence Committee to repeatedly lie to the American people. This isn't a regular political lie. This was using his position as a leader, a top leader in the United States, and looking at the intelligence and lying to the American people about it. And he was censured for it, and it was the proper route to go. And it was really incredible that on that day, and what I look about it is he looks at it. He believes that the people that vote for him are idiots. He believes that this is a stepping stone now to the Senate. That this probably gets him, the Feinstein seat.
And it probably will. I mean, there's a decent chance it will.
Because he believes, no, everybody knows I lied, including Democrats. Democrats are okay with the lie as long as the lie was about Trump.
Exactly.
It's like nobody cared.
They know I'm willing to go the full measure.
Nobody cared that Durham discovered on the Democratic side that he's the one that discovered that Hillary Clinton set up the Trump campaign. They look at it, that's smart politics. Nobody cares that they created a lie, that they actually colluded with the Russians, Iggy Danchenko, that they actually did what they claimed Trump did.
Yeah.
But it's okay if she did it. They celebrate it. Hillary was talking about it. Yay.
Yeah.
When Trump was indicted last week. And it was like, my God, but this is how they view they don't view it. They're the ones that are always claiming that the Republicans don't care about democracy. And you see all the time where they're absolutely blunt, where they don't care about the democratic values of the Constitution.
No, they do not.
Over and over and over and over again. And this is just another instance.
Yep.
So I know I said this on June 22nd, but a good move by the Republicans yesterday, a proper move, I think.
Yeah, they weren't able to get it done before, but they a few days ago, but they got it done. They finally got it done. They got the votes, and I'm glad they got it done.
Well, they got the votes because they didn't throw the $6 million fine.
Exactly.
They actually had those votes, but the as we said last week, Republicans don't screw it up. You're not going to fine them.
Right.
You're not going to go through the courts for something like that. What was it, $6 million fine?
Why were you throwing out your own, your own block? Why would you do that?
Well, we had said, that's probably unconstitutional. Why would you do that?
Yeah, if you wanted to go out in the media or tweet something that say, well, look, I voted for it, and I believe that he should also be fined. Now, we weren't going to do that because we can't do that, but that's what I believe. Because that's as far as it was going anyway. But they finally got it done. And I'm glad they did.
Yeah. But the votes against it. Oh, by the way, the votes that didn't voted president voted because they're on the ethics committee, so they don't vote on it.
Right.
So that's why they were present. If you're wondering why the vote was what it was, I mean, who are the Republicans that didn't vote that voted voted present? That was because they're on the ethics committee,
right? And
they don't vote on things like this because they're going to have to hear this in the ethics committee,
right?
So they pretend they have an unbiased mind.
Yeah. Right.
It's pretty hard to be unbiased. Yeah. But again, though, if you're on the ethics committee, what you do is you go through, what did he actually say?
Right. Go through the process.
Oh, thinking about ethics, John Kerry.
Yeah.
We'll show you we'll tell you the John Kerry story coming up. And speaking about ethics, we can't violate the Hatch Act.
MAGA.
I had to say that.
Dang it.
It's killing Karine Jean-Pierre.
Hatch Act, MAGA. Dang it, I violated the Hatch Act.
It's killing
them. I mean, seriously.
We can't say MAGA
that is a
now?
comedy bit.
It really is.
Oh, sorry. I can't talk about whether the president is going to run again or not, or what he's going to do, or blah, 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 blah. Because Hatch Act.
MAGA.
But MAGA. And when Trump runs, MAGA. Hatch Act. Oh! That's such a harsh burn. Nobody had even been mentioning Hatch Act until she did.
No, nobody ever really did. Yeah.
And I'm guessing it probably on the MAGA thing
and
maybe wouldn't have been mentioned had she not been mentioning it so much herself.
And then I like the story that came out, though, that after they warned them, look, you're violating the Hatch Act. You can't do this. And they continue to do it. And they said, stop it.
Right.
It's like they can't stop saying MAGA. They're addicted to MAGA. Oh, my gosh. 866-90-RED-EYE.
Some parts of the country this week are seeing dangerously high temperatures.
So if it's dangerous for people, it is usually dangerous for pets as well.
Something pet owners should bear in mind. This from Agriculture Department veterinarian Dr. Dawn Fitzhugh. She says dogs are susceptible to heat because unlike we humans, we have sweat glands all over our bodies to cool us down. Just about the only cooling mechanism a dog has is panting, yes, and for some dogs that's not enough to keep them from becoming dangerously hot and dying from it. She says before taking our dogs out in the heat, we should ask ourselves some questions.
Is our pet used to this type of heat? Are they overweight? Are they underweight? Are they older? Are they really young? So all of those things can come into play as to how our pets can tolerate the heat.
She says when temperatures are up in the 90s and above, the best advice, limit your pet's exposure to the heat as much as possible. Take walks in the early morning when it's cooler. Gary Crawford for the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
This report is made possible by Cenex Roadmaster XL Premium Diesel and Citgo Lubricants.
Get in touch with Red Eye Radio, toll free at 866-90-RED-EYE.
Progressive.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Carly, and I'm Gary McNamara. Increasing majority of Americans view sex as biological reality, a new poll reveals. Up 10 points from 2022 in just 1 year. Growing number of Americans believe that an individual's gender should be determined based on the sex listed on their birth certificate, a new poll has found. It was only 51% a year ago. Now it's 61%. As I said, there was nobody was fighting back.
No, that's exactly what it was. It was the fear of the mob.
Right. The fear of the mob was there. Nobody was fighting back. Now that people are fighting back and saying, well, this is ridiculous, and here's why it's ridiculous. And now that, as we saw yesterday, that you have, people demanding answers. Well, what are you about? What do you actually believe? Because up until now, if you asked what they believed, well, you're transphobic just for asking the questions.
Right.
Here's an example yesterday that I want to play from. This is actually our audio cut of the day. We'll play it now because it relates to what we're talking about. And this is where you had the head of the human rights group that was there that is as radical transgender as you can get, who could not explain anything.
Yeah.
But when she finally did answer a question, it just was completely bizarre, and she was blown out of the water. Mm-hmm. Here it is.
Women
you
and some
don't
that are
believe
shorter.
that a biological male has a physical advantage in sports over a biological female?
Not as a definitive statement.
Give me an example. Well, no, I don't think. How many female members of the NBA do you see?
Well, I can say that, there's been this news article about men that think that they could beat Serena Williams in tennis, right? That they think that they could actually score a point on her. And it's just not the case. She is stronger than that.
What's your experience, Ben? Male, female?
Both Serena and Venus lost to the 203rd ranked male tennis player, which they're phenoms for women. My experience, my husband, he swam at University of Kentucky as well. In terms of accolades and in terms of national ranking, I was a much better swimmer than him. He could kick my butt any day of the week without trying.
And the thing is, the representative from the radical transgender group, with such confidence, she threw out a lie.
Yep.
I mean, with such confidence, incredible confidence and arrogance.
Yeah.
so good, you know you want to listen again with our podcast, available on our app and at RedEyeRadioShow.com.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. And when you see one more audio cut here that from Riley Gaines, as she talks about the misogyny and the threats that are thrown at young women athletes by the universities and the insane radical transgender movement, this is it.
This has been your experience over and over and over. You're told as a woman, just shut up, don't say anything. What's that like?
That is continually happening. And if we do speak up, you're immediately labeled as some name. They will call you everything under the sun, whether it's transphobic, homophobic, racist, white supremacist, domestic terrorist. They will throw them all at you in hopes to deter you, in hopes to silence you. Leah Thomas's teammates, they were forced every single week to go to mandatory LGBTQ education meetings to learn about how just by being cisgender, they were oppressing Leah Thomas. They were told that they are not allowed to take a stance because their school has already taken their stance for them. They were told that you will never get a job, you will never get into grad school, you will lose your friends, you will lose your scholarship and playing time if you speak out. They told these girls that if you do speak out, and any harm whatsoever comes towards Thomas's way, whether that's through social media, whether that's physical, mental, emotional harm, then you are solely responsible, and you could be responsible for a potential death. And you don't want that, do you? Of course not. Who would ever want to be responsible in a potential death? But that is the emotional blackmail that is plaguing this country, especially in universities.
Yeah, I think I'll send my kid to an Ivy League school.
Yeah. Sounds like a good choice.
And, you know, we've said it before, the threats that have been thrown at these young women if they don't conform and celebrate and give up their spots to a biological male.
Mm-hmm.
And why? You know, we've said this over and over again, and you know, we do it as a little shot there at the radical transgender movement and at the feminist movement, but these women are threatened if they don't do what the man says.
Yep.
Think about that.
Right.
Just think about that. That's where it's come to. And I'm so happy that she's out there and other women now, and I hope more women come out, but I believe she'll probably be the vocal point because I don't know anyone. I've seen some of the other swimmers come out, and not that they don't do a good job. She kills it every time.
Riley Gaines is fully prepared at every turn.
Yes, she is.
And
you're right. That's the thing that you and I first notice.
Yeah.
Are they well prepared? Like when we went after Adam Schiff, we're like, he's using the same lie. Come up with a new lie. You're not even preparing to do this. We're actually looking at...
You can't even lie correctly.
We're looking at the preparation for the presentation that you're giving.
Right.
And we're like, you're not even lying well.
You're not even lying
Come
well.
up with a new... But she's telling the truth.
Yep.
And she is prepared.
Yep.
And when you had that one pro-radical transgender movement head of that group come out and say, oh, men say that they can beat the Williams sisters, and there's really no big difference, discernible difference between a male and a female. And then she comes out, 203rd man, played the Williams sisters, beat them both, no problem at all. I've had more awards than my husband ever has had in swimming because he's a swimmer, and I can't touch what he does in the pool.
Well,
I mean, it's just
she
like
was never at a loss for words.
Never. Doesn't hesitate.
And the activist only had to, she could only lie if she had any direct response to a question. It was a lie.
Yeah.
And that tells you the entire story right there. That's where we are.
Which is why, by the way, we understand why they don't answer the questions because they can't.
Right. It's important.
Right.
It's still important to go after them.
Right.
And demonstrate that they can't do that.
Right.
They really can't even be a champion for their own cause.
No, because they can't tell the truth.
They can't say out loud what they really think.
Yep. All right, John Kerry was hit with an ethics complaint Tuesday alleging that he disregarded scientific evidence on climate issues. It's almost like a Babylon Bee headline, isn't it?
You better double check that. That might be the Babylon Bee.
I mean, going, wait a minute, that's a Babylon Bee headline. We sort of know that. Where's it's like, where's the parody?
Exactly.
Protect the Public Trust filed a complaint against the Biden administration. Special presidential envoy against the Biden administration's special presidential envoy for climate, detailing a May 2nd speech in which Kerry claimed 15 million people perish every year due to greenhouse gas emissions. In the letter, they write, this claim is both tremendously consequential and entirely unsupported by scientific evidence. The PPT is calling for an investigation into Kerry's comments. Well, they don't need a big investigation. He's lying. He's making it up. But they're calling for an investigation into Kerry's comments for violating the Biden administration's scientific integrity policies. Right after their hat check policies. And are asking the government to adequately correct the public record and deter similar hysterical claims in the future. Well, their climate change promotion is all hysterical. It's all based on lies.
Yeah.
Kerry said 15 million people are dying every single year around the planet as a consequence of greenhouse gas emissions in the atmosphere. In the air, which travels around and drops in the form of pollution and is warming the ocean at record rates, changing the chemistry of the ocean itself, Kerry said at a U.S. Department of Agricultural Aim for Climate Summit. Without action, millions of lives and livelihoods of the planet is at risk. In addition to Kerry's 15 million air deaths, he also said another 10 million people die annually from extreme heat, so that's 25 million. Mm-hmm. The PPP director, Michael Chamberlain, said there are a few more perilous breaches of scientific integrity than for public officials to convey inaccurate data to the public knowingly or recklessly, especially when it's done to justify politically motivated decisions and agendas. Simply put, hysteria, hyperbole, and misrepresentation of data have no place in our government's official pronouncements. Despite the enormity of Mr. Kerry's claim, he did not cite any scientific evidence for its basis, the letter says, nor is there any apparent scientific research that supports a claim that there are currently 15 million people dying yearly due to greenhouse gas emissions or any other single cause of death that is tracked. Well, you know what he's failing to not recognize? Climate change is a cause of everything else. Climate change is a cause of shootings. Climate change is a cause of automobile accidents.
Yeah, because
climate change affects, as we know, because climate change now is into race, into everything.
So, yeah, I mean, based on their mindset, yes.
Right.
Based on their rule book.
How many deaths are there a year in the world?
60 million.
Climate change.
Well, and that's it. Why didn't you go with 60 million and say that we can point to every single death and relate it to climate change?
Now, I want you to know this is not a headline for the Babylon Bee. And if you could try to keep down your laughter, it would be not appreciated.
Yeah.
According to PPT, John Kerry violated several of the Biden administration's scientific integrity policies, including a February 2021 memorandum called Restoring Trust in Government Through Scientific Integrity and Evidence-Based Policymaking.
What is that? Let's write something. Let's write something and see how long it takes for Eric to laugh. It's like a laugh challenge. What is this, TikTok? What the hell was that? Read that again. You've got to read that again. That is that is comedy. Read that again.
According to PPT, this is the watchdog group charging the ethics violation. Kerry violated several Biden administration scientific integrity policies, including a February 2021 memorandum called, quote, this is from the actual document, restoring trust in government through scientific integrity and evidence-based policymaking, end of quote. Do I have to go any further than solar and wind? I don't have to go. I don't have to add to Kerry's thing.
Right.
Solar and wind.
Well, scientific-based, evidence-based?
Yes.
Well, then why is that man on the women's team? What the hell am I missing?
Well, I mean, everything.
Exactly.
The border is secure.
Right.
That's going against Biden's policy.
Exactly.
Everything they say is going against Biden's policy.
Inflation is good. Inflation is transitory. I mean, seriously. Defund the police. People aren't leaving San Francisco because of the crime. I mean,
that was this week, wasn't it? Yeah. I saw that one.
They're just mostly peaceful protests. I mean, over and over and over again. I mean, it's beyond laughable.
So I decided, because I was reading this and I said, it sounds like the Babylon Bee, to go to the Babylon
Oh
Bee.
my gosh. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They're going to have to they're going to have to work hard. They may actually have to work harder today to top that.
Canada offers medically assisted suicide to New Yorkers inconvenienced by wildfire smoke. Jury finds Hunter Biden guilty of being a lovable little rascal with a heart of gold.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Man charged with blasphemy for not removing sandals while using rainbow crosswalk.
All right.
Oh, man.
Wow. Yeah.
My favorite one, Taiwan kicking itself for not bribing the Bidens.
Which is probably true.
Exactly. and finally, Hunter avoids jail time after pleading Biden.
That's funny.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh, and finally one.
Yeah.
This one's bad.
All right.
But it does relate. Biden promises to send rescue train in search of missing sub.
Wow. That one is one of the gut punches.
Yeah.
Because it's so true. It's reflective of what this administration is.
Yeah, I know.
And is not. Wow.
866-90 Red Eye.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Wow. Well, this tells us a lot. It tells us why Democrats are against artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
A recent study reveals that an AI model has found conservative women to be more attractive and happier in photographs than women on the left.
Well,
the AI model's findings specifically indicate that high attractiveness scores were associated with females identified as likely to be conservative. Is this the biases of AI? The New York Post. Well, I'm acting as a Democrat there. New York Post reports that according to a recent study, the AI model recognized conservative women as more attractive and happy in photographs. Modern artificial intelligence algorithms were used in the study to analyze a large number of photos and rate various qualities such as attractiveness and happiness. Well, wait a minute. If you're always angry, can you be attractive and be angry all the time? If your face is angry, does the AI look at that and say, well, look, you're always angry. Because attractiveness is
about how
pretty
you
subjective,
carry yourself,
right? Yeah,
well,
it's also how you carry yourself. Right.
In my opinion, it's about how you carry yourself, your demeanor.
Well, remember the woman, the picture of the woman, and I believe it was from 2016, the Trump inauguration. You know, the woman screaming.
Yeah.
Now, you look at that, and that is, the rage. Who knows whether if she smiled and, was
right,
was
it's
calmed
a snapshot.
down. And that snapshot at that point, you go, whoa, stay away from me.
Mm-hmm.
So automatically, before you get to physical attractiveness, it's, it's the body language at that point.
Your demeanor.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because if you're screaming, then probably people aren't going to be walking toward you.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood.